Hi, this is Dreaming Sheep, and I'm just doing a quick response video to ilmango's Bug of the Day video that he released, I think it was today. I've just watched it a few minutes ago, and kind of wanted to just like share an opinion that I have on it. Full disclaimer at the beginning, I 100% support his view on what he said. It is clearly a bug that probably should be fixed before it becomes mainstream, like quasi connectivity being an issue with pistons. It's a bug, but it's so in the game that everyone wants to keep using it. So for anyone that hasn't actually seen the video or isn't up to date on what's happening in snapshots, one of the new mechanics is for items to float in water. Now what ilmango's reported is when you place a entity in flowing water, so this is 3 source blocks and then every block underneath is downward flowing water, in theory it should sink because the water would be pushing it down. However, what tends to happen is if we drop an item in there, it should start to float after it hits the floor. Should. There we go, so it starts floating up even though this water is pushing down. Now, part of the bug is that if you were to drop it down this side, it sinks and it remains at the bottom. Why? It turns out that if there is a solid block, so any block which in ilmango's explanation is a block that can sort of carry a redstone signal, i.e. if we put a repeater down here that's powered and then a redstone sort of dust down on the floor here, that would be powered as well, whereas through glass it wouldn't. Yeah, so any solid block, the item will sink, right? Clearly an issue. I personally agree with ilmango, it should be sinking even in this middle column. However, I just wanted to point out that maybe this could be something useful. So for example, if we were to throw an item down the end there, it should sink all the way down, but then it'll float until it reaches, surprisingly, not the solid block. It'll float until it gets to 1 block beneath it, which is roughly there. There we go, and it sits and hovers in this empty space. So you can clearly see that the solid block is causing an issue compared to the opaque block. And this is wrong. The reason I put the video out there though is maybe this could be used for something. I don't know what yet. I've been like playing around with it and thinking like, well, maybe you could have an item collection type system or something. But the reality is I can't see how that would work very well. Maybe you could put a hopper on the side over here, but then in theory, if it was climbing up, it would go into the hopper anyway, and you wouldn't drop it down in the same way. So I can't figure it out yet. It would work fairly well for an aquarium, for example, although now we have real fish, it's got less of a use again. So I wanted to just add to this. And again, I just want to point out to make sure there's no hate from anyone. I do agree that this needs to be fixed, but I still think it could have potential for something great if someone way more intelligent than me could figure out something interesting to do with it. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and until next time, take care. Bye-bye. If you drop a item inside there, however, this could kind of be exploited if we dropped an... Oh... It's the first time that's happened. I've done this several times. So we drop that one in there and we drop this one in there. And what you'll find is they'll both sink and now they're going to group together. Blocks will either float or sink. Now in theory, it should sink, right? So if we drop a block down there, it sinks all the way down. If we drop a block in the middle, it should sink, but what actually ends up happening is it starts to float. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Come on. Oh, have you landed in the wrong block? It's probably landed in the wrong block space. Fantastic. You know, you do this without recording and it just never goes wrong. And as soon as you start recording, everything that could go wrong goes wrong. And then when you put an item in there, in the new snapshot mechanics, they should float. So first it will sink because it was going through... Nope, it's just being a dick. That's why.